somewhat flavored by my personal preferences of the day.
All right. Well, it sounds like we're all mostly ready. So, last time with
More ready
the
than I thought.
yeah, last time with I.P.I. Myk'Isle. Uh,
Yeah.
you the party had waited for an extended period of time before finally hearing word from a certain friend. Though, really, friend is questionable except for one of you. He sent you a cryptic message of which only the friend understood, turning out to be a set of addresses. Going to the point between these two addresses, you discovered a crime scene that involved, where the victims were two constructs, a warforged and something unknown to all of you. But the Tarpus was able to go into the memories of these constructs and deemed that these two were going somewhere before they were ambushed. Uh, the Warforged was beyond saving, but the other construct was taken by Iseline and the physician to get it repaired, despite some uh, extreme caution from the physician. Joan and Sahir decide to take the remains of the Warforged to a cleric to perform final rites. And this week with the I.P.I, uh,
Guys, what are we going to do without our resident action takers and of, slightly bad decision making? Every party needs one to move things forward, and we now have lost both of our action takers of slightly bad decisions.
The physician and the target?
Yes.
Just making sure, because I wasn't sure if you meant Avery as well. He's technically in the background now.
He's an NPC, though.
True.
Well, so here it tends to be of slightly bad decisions. if if you're in the bar, the physician and the tarpist are the ones taking shots, and so here is the one saying, "Do it, do it."
basically, here is the Erden of I.P.I.
Oh dear.
It might be true. Does that mean he's about to become incredibly important and become the resident slightly bad decision maker and action taker?
You are the rogue.
So you're a combination of Tooth and Erden.
That's terrifying. Especially when we had the whiskey that came out of Tooth's bag a while back. So the physician sent it off again.
Uh, yeah, let's first start where we left off, which was with Iseline. So Iseline,
I don't remember what I was doing.
The construct basically sat up and said,
Mhm.
greetings. But then the
Yes.
next thing you're back in the streets of Lair. Um, is I think early afternoon. Basically, the time when you enter the Tarpus to go and repair this thing. And you're in the area where the Tarpus normally is, but it is not there, and you are alone.
I'm on the streets of Myk'Isle where the Tarpus should be, and I'm not there.
Yes.
I'm by myself, and I'm...
Yeah, you are on the streets of the town of Lair.
Yeah.
And you are alone where the Tarpus should be, but it is not present.
Did it make loud, unoiled piston sounds before it left?
Like, did it make any weird, like, I'm just
Or
all of a sudden
weaving,
outside?
copy.
Was there weird noises or something that indicated where the freak the Tarpus would have gone? From my notes, I have that the physician, like, we went back to the Tarpus together.
Yes.
And that the construct basically woke up and said greetings, and we were in the Tarpus.
Yep.
So now the Tarpus, the construct, and the physician are all gone.
As far as you're aware at the moment, yes.
Nothing could go wrong with those for traveling in time and space.
But if I was in the Tarpus, how am I not with them in time and space is what I want to know.
You were not
Wibbly
sure,
wobbly, timey wimey.
Yeah, stop.
After a few moments, you will hear from your sending stone in a monotone voice. Investigator Iseline, the perpetrator has escaped a pursuit, returning to last known location.
Like look at this stone because I'm like, I don't recognize this voice. Or do I recognize this voice?
Roll history.
Okay. Give me your dice. Maybe you like me today. Maybe you like me today. What is my modifier for history? Probably high. And it is. Ooh, that's nice. 23.
The voice is that of the construct, like when it awoke.
Can you repeat what it is that it had said to me, please?
Basically, it woke up and said greetings.
No, what the sending stone
what the
said.
sending stones. They said, perpetrator escaped pursuit, returning to last known location. All right, returning to your last known location.
Mm-hmm.
And it called you Investigator Iseline.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at the sending stone, just kind of like last known location, but this was the last known. Okay, last known location of the perpetrator, not of the target. What was the last known location of the perpetrator? Or wait, no, my last location.
Yes.
But this was my last location, right? I am so horribly confused.
You're not in an alleyway anymore. You're in the street.
I know, but why am I in the street?
Great. Understanding what I observed.
Thank you. I am so confused.
So, after
Like, is there anything around me that I noticed that looks like? Can I spot any of my own party? The visit. I know I'm alone, so the physician's gone. Was the bunny with us?
the bunny is not with you.
No, but was the bunny with us when the physician and I took the construct to the department?
I believe it was.
Yeah, because that's what I was wondering. Is like I was trying to remember if the bunny was with us. I think it was, but I'm not sure.
What is it that you would like to do at this time?
Still trying to figure out what the last known location would have been that they would have gone to. But as I'm trying to figure that out, I think I want to go find Joan and here so that I'm not standing by myself on the streets of Blair when a diplomat has been attacked.
I'm gonna say, is Izzy in the same state as my phone on Wednesday?
A little bit, yes. His phone crashed and what was it?
The BIOS.
The BIOS said status of the phone was panicking.
When it rebooted.
When it rebooted. Yeah, exactly. Arthur. Like we were just like, and we were on a drive with my mom because she's visiting, and he was like, "Have you guys ever seen?" He's like, "Have you ever seen a phone crash?" No. But yeah, no. The BIOS said status of the phone was panicking, and then it restarted. I don't think I'm quite panicking to the need of a restart, but I'm like, okay, let's go find my other party members because I have no idea what just happened. And I might as well talk to somebody that I happen to kind of know.
Alright. And since you're looking for the others, we will switch over to them. So, I believe the two of you were looking for, I think, specifically Chomper.
Yep, that's the only cleric we know, so I basically scooped up what's left of the Warforged and just like huffed it over my shoulder in a fireman's carry.
Well, things certainly can't go wrong.
What does it mean when the very thing that can manifest the problems of that statement says that statement?
It means we should panic and restart. As Dominic like twirls around in a circle.
Panicking, right?
He's panicking.
Running circles.
Alright. So, the closer you get to the central area of Myk'Isle, you start to hear, well, more people, but also you hear music. Sounds like there was some, like, there's a band, probably. I turn down onto like one of the main streets, and you can see like there is a crowd gathering in front of like one building.
Oh, now I'm trying to remember the name of Marco's character.
Joan.
Joan, yes. Well, Joan, I'm more than capable of helping with the Warforged, but if you've got that, maybe I should split and investigate the scene real quick and covertly make my way back. What do you think?
I mean, sure, why not? You can do that.
Enough crazy things going on around here that any new crazy thing is probably something we should investigate. Unless we caused it, but I don't think we've done that yet.
Joan actually stops walking at that point as you say it, just like, you concern me that you actually brought that up. Also,
Try not to make a scene this time.
I think the biggest scene I'm making we've ever made at this point is me carrying a corpse of a warforged on my back.
You know, fair point. And then Sahir will stealthily make his way towards the new scene.
Alright, so first Joan, insight, Sahir, stealth.
Man, why didn't I put anything into my stuff? Oh, it is actually a proficiency. 15.
Insight is a 21.
First.
Oh,
True.
insight. I meant to say investigation since you're looking for Chomper.
Oh, then that's a 20.
Alright. You're able to find Chomper. It seems like she is like hanging up on the not necessarily the roof, but like a bit of building. It's just like so you know how there are some buildings where they have a bit hanging out over the street.
An eave,
Mm-hmm.
or an
Awning.
eave, or a oh,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So she's basically on like one of those, like looking on at whatever the rest of the crowd is looking at. Doesn't seem like she's in much of a panic. It seems like she's doing what she's just like sitting there, watching whatever's going on.
And how high up is this? Like maybe like 10 feet or so?
Yeah.
20? Okay. Actually, so seeing her, Joan walks over and basically just, well, roughly below, just like, so what are you seeing there, Chomper?
Some interesting visitors have come to the island. Playing some interesting music.
Is it because you haven't heard the music before, or is it because it's weird instruments playing familiar songs? Or is it both?
It's a mix of both. Like, I haven't heard this music before. It's also, at least one of the instruments is not one I've seen before.
Actually, and don't like kind of like look over and try and like hear what the difference is between those musical instruments.
we bring out a company number of food.
Alright. So here, you're investigating the crowd, correct? You're sneaking into the crowd?
Correct.
Alright, so, that doesn't really sound...
Yeah.
So, you managed to successfully get into the crowd, and it was a 15, correct?
Yes.
So, it doesn't seem like anyone in the crowd has noticed. Here, as you're going through the crowd, you are hearing the music like much more clearly. You can definitely tell that there is a 3 instruments in this band that's going on. Seems like most of the people here are listening to the this music. Are you like going to the front of the crowd?
Yes, I definitely want to find out what. I'm trying to pick up whatever I can in investigating what the new scene of the Isle is.
Alright. So, when you get through the crowd, or at least enough of the crowd where you can see the players. Um, uh, two of the members and of the so there are three people playing. Two of the members, they're not really that much of a standout. Like they don't stand out that much, being a what you would guess a half elf and a gnome. The third one is rather unique. You may have seen something like this before, you may not. What you see is like um basically a centaur with
Sorry, as soon as she said that the music was unique, I called it in my head, but it makes me happy that I was right.
a centaur woman with long red hair, got like ox horns on her head. She's playing a viol. The gnome appears to be playing a flute. You have no idea what the half elf is playing.
Wow. Oh, wow, wow. Are there any other notable people with them, or is it just the three of them?
Give me a perception check.
He will in a second. He's making himself some food at the same time.
Yeah. Look at those reactions, Marco.
Oh, Marco has the best facial expressions, hands down. Out of anybody in the party, hands down, best facial expressions.
And not a single acting class to go with it.
Which makes it all the better.
12 is my perception check.
At 12?
50% of that came from my modifier.
In the crowd with you, just kind of like making the front row, is like a group of children. Of note, one of the kids is another female centaur, and uh, there is also a boy that possesses the vulpin ears and a fox tail. Those are the most standout people that are in the area.
So does the centaur child or the Vulpine child seem to bear any resemblance to a centaur playing music or the prime minister?
Roll insight for that.
Social skills. Here is decent at these. 18, also 50% modifier.
You have a +9 for insight?
I do.
Wow.
You have to be intuitive about
He has to listen to his customers.
Yeah.
The girl centaur does appear related to the centaur that's currently playing, but you don't think that there's like a parent-child relationship. Probably something more like aunt niece or cousin relationship. You would have to guess. The boy, yes, he does have a resemblance to the prime minister.
Oh, fascinating. What's the crowd saying about these new arrivals? Anything they're whispering? Anything that I might catch?
Let's see, you had a high passive. I think everyone in this group had mid to high
Perception?
passive perceptions.
Yeah, my passive perception's a 16.
15.
15.
I guess so.
And then the physician's just jacked.
Right.
A lot of the crowd is just being like, uh, um, they are liking the music. Some of them are making comments about the half elves instruments being like how strange it is, but it's still fitting the music. You also hear a few people saying like, uh, excuse me, saying stuff like, "I didn't know the consort's midwife knew how to play a viol." I did say the consort, right? Like the consort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
I think I would have been much more surprised if you had said the prime minister is like, no, that doesn't make sense
No,
at all.
no.
Hmm. I'm thinking. I'm thinking what the next move here is.
All right. So, Marco,
Well-
remind me what Jones' last action was.
Just trying to listen to the instruments to see which one was the odd one out, I guess.
All right. For that, give me a perception check.
Okay. Natural 20.
Yay!
It's definitely a. I think banjo is considered a string instrument.
Yeah, strings
Yeah.
on it, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely one of the. It's definitely a string instrument that has a twang. You haven't heard anything like this,
Mhm.
but you can pick out a flute and a viol.
Well, like spend a good 30 seconds to a minute or so, depending on how long the song is, just listening to this, and then actually turn it back to Chomper and say, "Yeah, that's kind of weird music. Wonder where they all come from." Anyway, I've got a Warforged here that I think needs your attention.
Really? And she'll like jump off the roof and like will hover in front of you, or well, hover while taking a look at the Warforged on your back.
Mhm.
I'm not really sure what I can do. It looks pretty dead.
Well, I'm unfamiliar with Warforged, so they have like funeral rites or something? Or do you just toss them?
How would I know? I'm a pseudo dragon.
You're also a cleric.
Who is basically serving a entity that is trying to eat the world. Not my choice.
So the clericness is purely secondary.
Yeah, I didn't choose to be a cleric. I for some reason was chosen.
Cool, cool.
But despite that, I am still a healer. Like Miss Olivia likes to refer to me as the heal bot, but I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I have no idea what that would mean either. Well, I doubt you could heal this feller, so, do you know someone who does know more about Warforged then?
No?
Well, great.
Have I found them yet?
Yes. At this point, you would see like a large crowd, and you can see, um, you can see Joan like talking with Chomper, yeah, on like the back of the crowd,
Gotcha.
and you can just barely notice here in the crowd.
Okay. I'm like, I'll look towards Sahir in the crowd, and then I'm just gonna make my way straight towards Joan. Taking note of the music as I go along because I'm pretty sure this is definitely different than what I'm normally used to at home.
Very different.
Yeah, but like not because I'm pretty sure I would be with like a flute and maybe something similar to a viol, but not necessarily a viol. Sorry, I keep saying viols, but a viol. But yeah, the other thing is like I have no idea what that is. It's not terribly unpleasant. It's just strange. Neither here nor there because Joan, we have a problem.
Just one moment. Since you're able to fly and everything, have you seen any like religious buildings that have been built around here?
I the I don't really know what religious
Sticky.
buildings are. Right. I have heard that they have at least the regent and the consort have built like shrines to their deities on their property. And I think I remember um uh she what was her title? Did she have any titles? Um Mori, like the prime minister's girlfriend, I want to say. Like I think she was trained as a priestess for a bit, but I'm not sure. We didn't really ever talk. She's been kind of busy. I've been kind of busy.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. I guess that would explain why the prime minister and her girlfriend aren't official yet. Sorry, what did you want to say, Isleen?
Um, well, the physician and I returned to the TARDIS to try and fix the construct and got it working. It sat up and said greetings, and then all of a sudden I was back on the street and the TARDIS was nowhere. The TARDIS was nowhere to be found, nor the construct, nor the physician. I have no idea where they went. But the construct sent me a message with the sending stone that the perpetrator had left. Perpetrator escaped pursuit and they were returning to our last known location. I just came to find you because I was alone on the street. I wasn't even in the alley where we had been. I don't know. I was where the Tarkus was supposed to be, but it wasn't there.
Well, that's certainly an interesting story.
And you didn't see it disappear anywhere.
No, I was there. I watched the construct sit up, say greetings, and then I was on the street again.
Okay, several different things aside. Um, that. Hmm. Wait. No, that's not important either. Okay, let's go to the last bit then. You got a message on the Sending Stone saying that you need that you were meeting they were meeting you somewhere?
Said that the perpetrator had escaped, but that they were returning to your last known location. So I was assuming the construct was talking to me, like my last known location. But my last known location was next to the construct in the Tarpus.
Did you try using your sending stone to ask them where specifically they wanted to meet you?
I should have done that. I was a little bit more freaked out by the fact that I was all of a sudden alone on the road. Was I in the road?
Now we're
Like, was
on
I
the
on the
sidewalk.
street or was I on the side of the street?
You're basically on the side of the street.
Okay.
So here we'll look nearby for somebody who may have been talking, not to interrupt somebody who's just purely enjoying the music, and we'll ask. It seems we have some special guests of note. Is there an occasion I should be aware of, and are these names that I should probably have committed to memory?
I mean, I have no idea who they are. I mean, I'm guessing they just decide. Those three decide to play for those two kids. They'll point at the boy and the girl centaur. But the half elf definitely played very well, and as did the gnome. And crowd just kind of gathered around them, and
Well, I'm glad it's a grand old time having them around. It's always good to have some jolly music.
yeah. I mean, the only occasion I can think of that's coming up somewhat soon is the Midsummer Festival.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. And it goes back to listening to the music.
Well, Zahir seems to have discovered harmless adventurers doing better things than he's usually doing, so he's going to go report to Joan.
Alright, yeah, you go back. I mean, you have a high enough passive perception. You were able to see Chomper up on the roof. You saw her fly down, push the crowd. There's Zahir. Oh, and Islene's joined you.
I have a feeling that if Zahir could have casually snuck up on someone to scare them in good fun, he may have.
How do I get a feeling that I'm the one most distracted, even though I have a high passive perception?
I mean, you noticed where the two of you.
Yeah, I noticed where
Zahir
Sahir was. True. So if Sahir is wanting to sneak up on somebody, do I need to roll something to see whether he is successful?
I think this would be another stealth check from Zahir.
From Sahir.
Alrighty. Don't let me down. Oh, that's sleight of hand. Wrong roll. Yeah. Oh, it's a nat 20.
Like a
Nat
ghost.
20 versus nat 20?
That is a waste of a nat 20, but that's okay.
Alright, like a ghost.
Here we'll come up right behind Iseline and kind of close to Joan and be like, "What's up? We learn anything interesting?" Just dead silent until he's right next to them.
Would my perception check
So
from
you're
earlier
just gonna
take
shrug?
over for this, or is it a new thing?
It would. This is going off of your passives.
Okay.
Since you had stopped listening, you were listening to the music.
Okay, then Joan uses the Warforged and swings it at Seer in an absolutely instinctive act of self-defense.
Alright. Make an attack roll with improvised weapon.
Let's see here. So there's a 19 hit.
Video. Yeah, I don't think Sahir is that good. A 19 hits a day. It definitely hits Sahir.
Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah, he's got a 14.
alright, Joan, roll D8, add your strength.
D8 plus strength. Oh.
Sahir's about
It's
to
a total of 7.
You're gonna pay for sneaking up on me.
Oh, okay. Take note. I will not scare you next time. Jeez.
Like Joan only swings it around, like probably using the whole arm to actually like smack you, and then like holds and then like swings it around almost like a staff to aim the feet and to come around for another pass. And then suddenly realizes there you are, like, what the hell are you doing sneaking up on people like that?
Sahir just kind of shrugs. Seems like good fun. No.
Shrugs, wipes the blood off away from his mouth.
Right. It's probably not very respectful of the dead.
It's not
I don't
respectful to
necessarily think
sneak
you
up on
sneaking up
people
on
when they're
somebody.
holding a weapon.
I don't think necessarily you sneaking up on somebody is very respectful of the living. Especially with what's going on now.
Enough.
I thought you got anything there?
I mean, we've got some interesting guests. We've got the midwife of the consort, a child who seems to be of relation to said midwife, um, somebody who seems to be of relation to the prime minister, possibly, a couple of children, um, and just some interesting people. The midwife is quite an unusual centaur, and the half elf, while not terribly interesting on his own, has a very interesting instrument. But they seem very nice people, and everybody is happy they're here. So,
But I have a concept of what a centaur is.
I don't think you would.
I was gonna say, like, I can roll to see if there's something that I might have heard. Would that be a history check?
Yeah.
Would Joan?
You would because you're from a country that is basically a vassal to fantasy Greece.
Okay, so
19.
You've read about centaurs, but it's just, they're not very common where you're from. In fact, they're actually extremely rare.
There's actually a centaur up there. Yeah. I've never seen one of those. I have to admit, I really want to see one of those. But
I mean, the child of relation is also a centaur. So,
there's two.
Yeah.
okay.
Like on Isleen's face, you're gonna see like this warring bit of emotion because she's like, eh, eh, I want to go, but I'm supposed to be here telling them about what the problem is. At the same time, centaurs.
here we'll kind of lean over. He'll be like, "It's okay to go look. Just remember, it's rude to stare."
Actually, Joan will immediately stop. Actually, stand is like, okay, before you do anything, I have a dead person on my back. So unless that centaur happens to be somebody who knows how to do funeral rites or can resurrect this person to answer our questions, we have better things to do. I can feel it dripping on my back.
Um, that the centaur playing the instrument was a midwife.
Apparently.
Well, if she doesn't know how to help with the dead, maybe she might know somebody who does. Then I can still get to go see a centaur, which I've never seen before in my life. And be able to help with our mission? Considering that I've failed on my side already? As I've inexplicably lost the construct and the position in the turpus?
Would you ask a god of the dead and funeral rites to assist in a birth? I don't know how those two would overlap.
Well, even if she...
I will be right back. Keep going.
Thank you, Riff.
Okay.
Maybe not the god of death, but like if she doesn't know, maybe she knows somebody else. Because from what I understood, Chomper doesn't know of anybody that could help. So maybe she knows of somebody that can help, especially since she's apparently the midwife to the consort. Sorry, I probably should have saved that until Arthur got back, but I wanted to say it while I still had it in my brain.
Mm-hmm. Well, according to Chomper, the only other person who might know anything is Mori, the Prime Minister's girlfriend, so we can ask.
Or we can hike the corpse up the hill.
I'd rather ask somebody who's a few hundred feet away from us than have Joan have to carry that thing up a hill. She already said it was dripping down her back, and that's just gross.
Actually, no, I was thinking of taking it to the woods across the river, or just tossing it in the river. They'll get out to sea eventually.
No, I wish I was taking advantage of this crowd. I'm sure some food would work wonders. Good sales, good food, good times.
Dead body?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
move
we
on.
all want to do other things, or we have a dead body on us right now.
We want to do other things and have a dead body, and we've lost part of our party, but at the same time, it's. And I think Iseline, she's kind of freaking out because she was already nervous about the fact that she basically lost the position and the turpus and the construct, and got a message from the construct that she should have answered, but didn't because she was very confused and all of a sudden alone on the street. And so she's like, I'm going to go find somebody that I know and talk with them, and then had Sahir scare the crap out of her. And it's like, I think, like, wanting to go see the centaurs is partially her backstory and her wanting to connect with something, but also the fact that she's trying to find something to focus on so her brain can actually calm down.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like just a stack overflow of there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this. I only have so many hands to hold on to this. Onto everything that needs to get done.
You're reaching.
I only have so many spell slots that I can comprehend at the moment, so I'm going to go after this one because it's the least crazy.
Should we be worried about presenting dead bodies in front of small children?
I wasn't saying Joan would come with me. I was going to go and ask myself.
It's character
Yes, we should.
building.
No, let's not.
Part of folklore, right? It's probably fine.
Also, please use the sending stone. That's the easiest thing you can do right now.
Okay. Do I still get to go see the centaurs if I use the sending stone?
If it isn't completely immediate, then yes, you can see the centaurs.
Right, Iseline is very excited to see a centaur.
My father told me all about centaurs when I was a little girl. I have to see them if I have the opportunity. Do I have to keep? Do I have to expend a spell slot to use the sending stone? It's been so long since I've.
No.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm gonna talk into the sending stone. It's like, okay, where exactly is that location? And where exactly are you? I mean, where is that location? Please be more specific.
Your last known location was outside that blue box. However, I have located you.
Is the physician with you?
Outsider self-identified as physician is not present.
Why?
This is one of those two people approaching each other while still on the phone.
Oh,
Unknown reason. Blue box was not present when I arrived.
okay, but you found me then. Where are you? Okay, I'm like starting to look around to try
100,
and see if I can find this construct.
100 feet
And I
behind
do
you.
look behind me, so it's not behind me.
Is it 100 feet behind you?
I'm gonna look past here, since he's still somewhere behind me, I think. Actually, I know I would have turned to look at him. So 100 feet behind me would have been towards the crowd.
Well, from the direction that you came.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Oh.
you can see the strange thing, like, walking in your direction doesn't appear to be, like, holding a sending stone or anything.
Okay. Oh, Brady, well, come on over and join us then. I am so confused.
Acknowledge.
I really want to see the centaurs. Just want to go see the centaurs. And that's the only thing that makes sense in this world right now is the centaurs.
Okay, Isling, we'll figure this out later. We might have to go to a healer for that, so which would more fall into the line of midwife or chomper maybe. But it sounds like you have some form of memory loss, I would imagine, judging by what you said, so we'll have to look into that a little bit later. Probably. Especially since it involves him and that box. And our rooms. Where are we going to sleep tonight?
Yeah, I thought of that too.
I'm glad that we applied for places with the Prime Minister. Do you think they're set up yet?
I didn't.
It's going to take about 6 months. So,
But
no.
yeah, that's right.
Alright, so, Jonesy here, the construct that you had previously seen deactivated comes walking up, and for all of you, this thing's like head, basically like a flashlight. I mean, it's a picture of this, approximately what this thing looks like is in the campaign.
In your
channel.
campaign. Yeah. I was gonna say I remember that you'd sent us that.
It walks up.
You know, as long as it doesn't smack me, I've already been smacked by enough metal humanoids today.
But it just like walks up and just stands there, eerily still.
John kind of just looks him up and down and just goes, "So, what's your name?"
This platform's designation has been given the name Cohort.
Cohort?
Yes.
Theo just kind of looks at it with his head tilted sideways and is like, "What is your prerogative?"
Okay, so for some, could the computer tech people explain what that is to someone who is not a computer person?
Not just a computer thing. It's just what is your directive? What is your goal? Your
What
mission
is your
statement?
mission statement?
Alright.
Yeah, mission statement.
Uh, Prerogative. Search out for her twin divines chosen.
Search
Establish
for
diplomatic connections.
search for twin divines chosen. Is that what she said?
What it said, yes.
Okay.
What they said.
Okay. Twin divines chosen. Who would that be?
Not me.
Uh, the thing, you guess, like looks at all of you before pulling out basically a musket and aims it at Chomper. Uh, Analysis determined. Presence of the hungering one detected.
Sahir, upon seeing the drawing of a musket, is immediately going to step into action to attempt to disarm the construct. We've been shot enough times already.
What did it call Chomper again?
So, well, what I had said was presence of the hungering one detected, but what
Hungry.
would have said was servant of the hungering one.
We're not going to be shooting Chomper.
I said, do I need to roll for this disarm?
Yes. Is it roll to attack? Roll opposed strength. Well, you're probably
Gotcha.
gonna win that.
Joan's gonna.
I got a
Joan's gonna
21.
also
Oh,
disarm.
yep. You disarm it.
I was gonna say, I'm sitting here trying to be diplomatic, and you guys just disarm it, which makes sense.
We didn't try to hurt it.
No, I know.
We have a strict policy against shooting people around here.
Acknowledged, but the hungering servants of the hungering one pose threat to the world.
Chomper's actually been very helpful to us.
Yeah. So you can see like Chomper just like not highlight, but like clawing onto like whoever was closest to her, like their shoulders. And like, I don't know how I can talk to this thing. I don't think my telepathy can has anything to communicate with.
Who's closest to Chomper, Joan or I?
By height?
Probably Joan. She was standing directly underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably just like clinging onto Joan's like, pardon me, armor.
The Chomper not been covered by the Warforged, so Joan's just like a perch for all things today.
Apparently.
Have we encumbered Joan yet?
Not yet, but you're getting there. And then Joan will like turn to the construct and say, chosen does not immediately imply following of one's orders.
Yeah, can you tell? I'm well aware, but I'm not willingly serving it.
Well, that's what I try to just say.
Chomper has been helpful to us, and from what I understand, does not wish to serve the hungry one. It's not their choice. So we won't be destroying Chomper.
Alright. So, can Joan, you can either roll this with an advantage, or you and Isleen can roll persuasion.
How you want to do this, Mary?
Looks like you're both rolling.
Okay.
I rolled, so I'm okay doing persuasion. I want to try and be the diplomat that I'm supposed to be. I
That was
gotta
a
say,
13 on my end.
Okay, so Jen got
so
13.
16.
The construct will, or cohorts will look at Isling and say, acknowledged.
Thank you.
We'll be keeping We'll be keeping optics on Chomper for time being.
Understandable.
Seems like we've diffused the situation for the time being.
Can I please go ask the nice centaur midwife questions now?
Yes, you've been patient. You may go.
Pierre kind of looks around to see if we drew any attention from, our little scuffle.
Some people have backed away, but they seem to be more interested in what the heck this construct is than
Mhm.
what has happened. I mean, there's not a panic. There is a heightened awareness, particularly by the people that are closest to you all right now, and they've kind of just backed away from you. But there is not a sign of panic, as you can probably guess people are going okay, things are going strange over there, but there isn't any fighting yet.
Mhm. I like the crowd's just kind of tense and watching what's gonna happen. It's like, is there gonna be a fight with the weird metal thing, or are we good?
Only the bit of the crowd that's closest to you guys, because everyone else is paying attention to the band.
Mhm.
And the band has not noticed.
Of course not.
Correction, one
Band
part
is.
of the band has noticed, but
Okay,
Come on, you're selling the passive perception queen short.
yeah, one part of the band, of course, has noticed. But
I mean, heck, she
as
noticed Sahir walking up.
soon as Joan says that it is okay for me to go and see the centaurs, I'm going to move through the crowd politely, excusing myself as I try and make my way up towards the front so I can finally see centaurs.
Right.
So, why were you talking with this fella right here?
Our previous guide, Lord Silvar, has brought me to this island, claiming he knew the location of Twin Divines Chosen. However, since arriving to this island, he has disappeared. Since then, we have made contact with this. We have made contact with this Warforged to seek assistance from law enforcement, as it appears that a organized criminal unit is conspiring to attack at least one residence.
Well, at least that last part's news.
Do you know what was the word? Designation of the resident targeted?
Targeted resident was not named. Address, however, was. However, we are not. This unit is not familiar. Right? This unit does not possess the It does not possess memory of the streets of this city.
I would think the local police force would, and
There's a local police force?
don't we report them to them?
Sorry, this is me out of character to remind them because we report to Taru, but we are the police force.
Well, you're currently the only detectives on the island. The current
Yeah,
the current police force is currently in training.
right. That's what it is.
Yeah, like that's what John's kind of leaning to. Like, we're barely anything. We're purporting directly to like the highest forms of government, which you're generally not supposed to do. And what? There's a mercenary force? Mercenary force doing anything?
Samurai Angel, I consider her the police force.
Right, Taru? Tora. No, Tora. Tora, sorry.
Tora.
Yeah.
I was mixing up with Taru from Final Fantasy. Sorry.
So here we'll bring out his sending stone to speak to Tora, but not start it yet. Could you tell us what this address is?
Uh, yeah, it'll do you one better. It'll play a recording. Uh, ba- there's, yeah, there are two familiar voices, like playing, like, like, it's like, playing audio recording, XX number. Then you'll hear two familiar voices. It's basically, right, take some of the men and go and if not eliminate, harass the resident of this address.
Neither of these voices, I presume, are the voice I expect to be hearing on the other side of the sending stone.
Of your sending stone?
Mhm.
No.
I, in fact, would suspect that they might belong to a black-haired kid and a very suspicious elven lady.
You may roll history.
Now roll
How
history as well
13?
for the
13?
voices. 15.
Alright. So here, they're just familiar. Like, you've heard them recently, but not... I mean, you don't quite remember what they are. Joan?
Not the person I expect on the other side of the sending stone.
Joan is the black-haired teenager and the changeling that you eavesdropped on during your stakeout.
Black-haired kid was the changeling.
I think they're both changelings.
Are they both changelings? Or well, because I know he was speaking like in Dragonborn.
They were both speaking Draconic, I believe.
Draconic, yeah.
Oh. Here we'll then speak into the sending stone. Or we might want to get ahead of this one, and then he will name the address. We have witnesses that say this will be a next target for some of our suspects.
Alright, so you, hey, alright, one moment, and after a moment, alright, so it was, like, this address? Well, that's convenient, because that's my house.
Great.
Huh. The plot thickens. Abortion.
Have I made it to the front of the crowd?
Yes.
Away from this doom and gloom over here.
Yeah, so,
Going to see the centaurs is one, centaurs. Two, I'm actually planning on asking if they know of anybody that can possibly help us with the dead Warforged, whether it's last rites, whether it's revival, whether it's whatever. I do have purpose in going. It's not just because I want to see the centaurs, but at the same time, centaurs.
alright, so, yeah, you managed to, like, weave your way to the front of the, crowd. I mean, you've obviously got, like, a line of children in front of you, but you're tall enough that you can see the musicians play, and after, like, 10 seconds, they, like, sounds like the song comes to a close. Of course, everyone's, like, applauding and cheering. The uh, the half elf begins like saying something in a rather sparkly language. You don't know what it is. Sounds similar to Sylvan, but it's not Sylvan. I imagine Brina would also be like saying like thank you, but I don't know what her reaction would be.
Well, but she'd probably be speaking in Fey as well,
yes.
so it would probably sound.
Yeah, she's also like speaking that sparkly language. The centaur is like, thank you, but we must be on our way. We must be on the way. Basically, as soon as their song ended, you can see like the boy with the foxes like goes up and very excitedly speaking towards the centaur in that sparkly language.
I'm watching this happen and also just kind of trying to stay on topic, but also marveling at the fact that it's like that is a centaur. Is she standing? Is she like kind of on the ground on her legs? Like
so, what I pictured in my head was that basically, Erden was like leaning against the wall playing his banjo. Brada was sitting on the ground playing her viol, and Brina was like with Rada, maybe not like on her, but maybe just like leaning or standing in front of her.
Yeah, I'd probably be standing near her. Because if I didn't have a seat, it would be better to be standing playing a flute.
Yeah, like, when the song ends, the half elf and the centaur like stand up, begin like saying stuff. Only the centaur speaks in a language that is recognizable.
I can understand the centaur. Okay. I'm gonna kind of like start moving forward and just kind of waiting, like, because I have a feeling like the rest of the crowd is probably coming forward to talk with them. I'm guessing.
Yeah. So yeah. Basically, the crowd, like, some members of the crowd, like go up to and try to speak with them. Obviously, there is a huge language barrier with
Brina and Airden.
thirds of the group, most of the crowd, like, they do their applause, do their cheers, and go about their business. Perhaps like stick around a little bit, see if they begin playing again. But otherwise, move on.
I suspect Airden might be able to speak the language of some of the more Nordic countries.
Yeah, I was gonna say Airden and I would probably be able to find some common language.
Well,
I mean-
also, Brina has tongues,
True.
so
She may or may
that
not
could
have
be
it
used.
running. Actually, no, she probably would have comprehend languages running at the time because, like, maybe as they're ending, she might cast comprehend languages on herself because she'd want to be able to hear if anybody in the crowd is saying anything, because just as like get response back on how they were doing things like that. So I like our little band. Because I know Isaline speaks Common, Rohander, and Elven, which I'm assuming is what Sylvan is.
They're slightly different.
No. Well, Sylvan is a language in and of itself.
Okay.
Elven is, at least in my mind, would be related to it since elves have Fey ancestry.
Yeah. So instead of similar to Sylvan, it'd be similar to Elven because that's the one I know. Okay.
Yeah. But you've also probably come across Sylvan passages in your studies.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on how many years after all the events going on in the other world is for Erden, you probably would have asked Ide at one point to just solve his language issues for him through magic at some point. Just like, is there like an object that you can just imbue with it?
Time to go read the book.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's been like 3 years. You poured over this book. Can you please do something with it now?
Honestly, Brina probably would have done the same thing. It's like, I'm so sick and tired of not being able to understand people or have them understand me. Please help.
I now wonder if Adea would eventually be able to mass produce something along these lines, or if it would be a more dedicated effort.
I mean,
Is it the wrong book?
honestly, I forgot how old I described Rada, if at all, to the other group IDM.
Oh.
So it's either a few years or, well, it'd have to be a few years since someone exists. But, timey-wimey face stuff.
Yeah.
But,
I think the fact that the centaur is the only one that I can understand when she's speaking also increases the odds. Like, okay, so not only is there a centaur in front of me, I can understand the centaur, and I can't understand the other two, which is far more unlikely. Oh, if Father were here to see this.
Actually, if anything, Erden pushed out his case for his banjo and is trying to clean out all the money they got from the crowd. Like, I can't put this banjo away until I get rid of all this money.
Yeah, that's exactly what he would be doing.
Yeah. Hey, we got a place to sleep tonight.
You're doing better than you're doing better than we are. Considering our home, our dwelling place decided to buy off with the physician.
Mm-hmm. So.
I didn't apply to Tom for a place to stay because I wasn't sure if I was staying because I'm not exactly sure of my mission or my homeland, and so I was just gonna stay with the physician. Okay, so I've waited for the crowd to thin so I can come up to talk to them.
Yeah. Eventually, like or pretty much everyone in the crowd dissipates. The only seems like the group is talking amongst themselves, and the boy, very excitable. You have no idea what he's saying because he's speaking in that sparkly language.
Why do I have a feeling that it's very rapid, sparkly language?
I mean, yeah, pretty much. He's pretty young.
Mhm.
Has to be older than 4, but definitely younger than 7.
So 5 or 6.
Yeah, he's somewhere in that range. You would guess.
Arthur, I teach the 5 and 6-year-olds, so yes, it would be rapid speech. My primary class is the 5 and 6-year-olds. And they're all boys in my class. So I'm going to imagine one of them is basically this kid. Okay.
But like this boy is like rapidly like speaks with the centaur, speaks with the other 2, but he's mostly speaking with the centaur. Eventually, after patiently waiting, the centaur will like lift up her head and like will like pat the boy on the head. You can guess, probably saying like, "Okay, calm down. Someone wants to speak with me." Is it? Do you need? Hello there. Do you need something?
Hey.
Uh,
You were hi.
I tell you, you've never seen a centaur before.
No, my father told me stories.
It's quite alright. I am used to this reaction.
I'm trying very hard not to stare, but sorry. But hi. Sorry, my friend said overheard that you were the midwife to the consort.
I mean, not exclusively to the consort, but I do have training as a midwife.
So I know it's the complete opposite of what you've been trained to do, but do you happen to know anyone that could help either perform last rites or somehow revive a warforged?
I can certainly perform last rites since I'm a cleric. Uh,
Oh, you're a cleric. Okay.
yes, I am a cleric. It's been a while since. Actually, I suppose not that long ago. I performed an exorcism, but that is different.
Not exactly sure what needs to be done or what can be done, but if if it wouldn't be too much trouble, my associates are over there with said warforged. And she'll point over to where Joan is. I'm assuming still talking with Sahir and Cohort, and Chomper being freaked out on her shoulder. It's like it's
Yes, I
he's
noticed.
draped over my friend's shoulder.
I noticed them when they were walking up. The half elf was definitely trying to be sneaky, but was not quite sneaky enough.
That's a here's life. Sneaky enough that most people don't notice, which is usually enough not to get in trouble. But not always.
Sahir wasn't sneaky enough. He snuck up on me and scared the heck out of me just a minute ago. I'm just gonna kind of like look at her. It's like, are is that
I am very perceptive.
is it because you're a centaur or is it because you're a cleric?
More so because I'm a cleric.
Okay.
come, let's see what needs to be done. And she'll like walk over towards the group.
I'm gonna be walking with her, though, because I would be leading her over there. Not that she necessarily needs it, but I'm not gonna leave the centaur that I'm talking to. I'm talking to a centaur.
Yeah, the two kids, like the boy, like right there, right next to her, but the girl is like slightly follows behind. You're like, all right, what's going on, kind of thing. But boy appears to be very excitable.
I'm kind of like peering around the centaur to look at the boy and at the smaller centaur. It's like, how I feel like I want to describe the centaurs of Philly, but I don't know if that would be polite.
Oh, this and she'll like kind of like motion send the girl centaur for it. This is my
Mhm.
niece. The excitable one. I have been keeping an eye on for his mothers.
You can say that louder.
Uh, what was that?
The game? It's what I'm trying. I was saying Tong has a son. Yeah. But that sounds chaotic and awesome at the same time. Um, your niece. Oh, I mean that sounds silly because obviously horses have families just as we do, and so duh, of course, centaurs would have families just like we do. I, I'm just gonna try and stop talking now, which is not normal for me.
It it is
Normally, I'm the diplomatic one.
it is quite all right. We're not from here. I
Technically, not very much.
well, it would be hard to describe unless there was someone else like that here. Well, I mean, we come from the same general area that the Prime Minister is from.
Oh, okay. I'm not exactly sure where the prime minister is generally from. Other than here, I'm relatively new to the island, and I've been inexplicably thrust into helping investigate things. As have my friends, so that's why we have a Dead War Forge in the first place. I'm so sorry. I should have asked your name first.
Uh, my name is Rada. Rada Stargazer.
Rada Stargazer. Isabelline Trigo's daughter of recently of Snowbell. Wait, no, Swanbell, not Snowbell. Recently of Swanbell, currently of Myk'Isle.
Ah, the Rada will like look back towards the group and say, uh, "You'll hear the name Erden, but she'll say something in that sparkly language."
Is that Sylvan?
Uh, technically no. I mean, it is Sylvan, but it's for a different material planes, Feywild.
Do I have any concept of what that is?
Uh,
I have a feeling the answer is no because I remember the weird planes and stuff in the Dragon's Den pub.
yeah. That would be a Arcana check, which roll that. Well, I have to I go use the restroom again for some reason.
Because you're a human being.
Okay. I feel like if Isleen asked Erden what multiple planes were, he'd basically go, "Okay, so have you ever stacked a bunch of plates on top of each other?"
Yes.
Okay, so basically, this world is one of the plates, but we come from a plate like one or two above or below. It gets a little arbitrary after that point, but that's basically how it is. Like, and the closer the plates are, the more similar they are. That's why our Fae is similar to Sylvan, but it's not exactly the same. It's kind of a lot of coincidences.
Really, given that Aaron is your character, you really think that whatever Rada says to him, that he would actually stay put as he watches Rada walk off?
I mean,
Maybe.
debatably. It kind of depends because A, there are children around, so that
Mhm.
obviously is a bit of a risk, but also she's the only one who knows how to speak properly around here, which is definitely a bad idea for both him and Brina, so
Yeah. So
don't,
probably.
don't be a strange person in a strange land unless you at minimum have a translator with you.
Yeah. That's a very good life lesson, actually. Don't be a stranger to strange land unless you have a translator with you.
Mm-hmm. Even if that just happens to be an English to French translation dictionary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you always gotta have something.
I think what may have happened is I've drunken a lot of fluids. So,
Again, because you're human. That happens, especially in the summer.
especially in SoCal summer.
Yeah.
How many fluids and how many hours ago?
I don't know.
If it's around 2 hours and a decent bottle of water, then yes, it makes sense.
What was the chat?
Oh, yes. 24.
All right. Yeah. You haven't heard of someone coming from a different material plane before, but you're definitely aware of there being different planes. So you've heard of things like Mount Celestia,
Mhm.
the Nine Hells, the Abyss. Um, but basically, there's like one plane for every one of the alignments,
Mhm.
as well as the ethereal plane.
Right.
And the Feywild and Shadowfell. But also, you've spent enough time with the physician to know that he's not necessarily from your
Yeah.
plane of existence. It's just like you haven't heard of anyone else doing it until now.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I was under the assumption that only my friend had been between different planes or was from a different plane. But
You have a friend
interesting.
that's not from this world?
Yes, but I've currently lost him. Long story. We were helping bring back the metal gentleman over there. He's a construct named Cohort. But we were bringing him back from the state that we found him in, which was not good. And then all of a sudden my friend was gone, as well as his blue box that he calls a home that was housing us as well. Very interesting, very lovely library, and then a pretty good kitchen. And then
Oh,
he was gone.
You've met the physician.
Yeah,
Rasa, as she begins rubbing her nose. Like, I feel sorry for you.
sorry for me. Is he dangerous? I mean, he's been
He's not
very
dangerous. I just feel sorry for having to deal with his antics.
well. He went missing not half an hour ago, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have to deal with his antics, I guess.
Oh, I'm sure he will be back eventually.
I have to admit that makes me feel much more relieved because I feel like I've lost him. And it was my fault somehow. But
That's, for lack of a better term, man is an enigma.
gotcha. I'm assuming that by the time that we've reached this point of the conversation, we've made it over to Joan.
Yep.
Joan, this is Rada Stargazer. She is a cleric, not just a midwife. So I thought she might be able to help with our Forforged.
Yes,
At least
particularly a cleric of Artemis. Which, Joan, you've heard it before.
Mm-hmm.
Goddess of the hunt and childbirth, etc., etc.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Okay.
I cannot say that I have performed rites for a Warforged before, since they do not exist in my world, but can at least do the final rites for my home country. But I also didn't think that I would need to have ceremony prepared. I mean, Champa, you're also a cleric. You should also have access to the ceremony spell.
John looks rather intensely etched at her shoulder. For Jumper, just like,
Oh, I suppose you're right. I do. I've never cast it before. And I also don't have it prepared.
Umber is the most adorable cleric.
What was the name of the spell she's supposed to have prepared, by the way? Okay.
Yeah. Was there another thing that you wanted to do with the Warforged, other than perform final rites?
well, apparently he was stabbed in the back, so he has no idea who his attacker was. So I guess unless somebody knows how to ask him about his own funeral rites, then I guess no.
Um. Yeah. Uh. Chomper, that is something that clerics can do. However, I am reluctant to have cast anything with of the necromancy school, since necromancy is extremely frowned upon for my world. To the point that it causes madness.
Well, why would we be casting a necromancy spell? Wouldn't ceremony be one that would?
Oh no! What she's talking about is the spell Speak with Dead, which I believe. which I don't recall off the top of my head if it's a necromancy spell, but I think it is.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Sorry, that makes much more sense. I'm sitting here, I'm like, why would ceremony be considered a necromancy spell?
I was like, even things like gentle repose are usually considered necromancy. Messing with death is a great way to get necromancy stapled to your spell, even if it seems like a very harmless effect that seems religious and righteous. Indeed, anything you mess with the death, it's necromancy stapled to it.
I've never heard of necromancy magic causing specifically madness before, but
I come from a different plane. I'm not from this world.
You kind of like
You
the
hear
position, and
cohort.
that's the position.
Yeah, you hear a cohort like speak. Correct. All these individuals are off-worlders. They are not.
Anyone else going to declare that they're from another plane of existence? How about you, cohort?
No, but
Iselene,
while
how about you?
the conversation, I do believe we still need to address our Warforged. I am of the personal opinion that at the very least, I and maybe we should go to the address of Torah to provide some backup or just get some knowledge. Because while we have learned that most people trying to attack Torah are making bad life decisions, even when they know what they're up against, the two that I suspect that it is possible that this time we might have a little bit of a smarter group on our hands. And that means they're going to come prepared.
Sadly, I believe you were right.
Probably, yeah. We should check on Tori while we still can.
Have Airden and Brina come over and joined us by this time? I was asking
Yeah.
Marco when you went if Airden would have. I'm assuming what Rada probably said to him was to like either to stay there or that hey, I'm going over here for a minute.
Well,
but I would imagine that
what Ross would say was like, this one, this person has a name similar to you, Erden.
oh, oh wait a minute, Airden's not going to let me.
It's Erden Archerson. So when he's heard Ingvild's daughter, it was it's like
Tegvin's daughter. Yeah. Oh. Whoa. Whoa. He might not like me because he doesn't really like his own people.
Well, they keep making really poor decisions, and debatably everyone in his life is currently making poor decisions, so that's not really a...
I mean, Rada would have made sure to be like, okay, the elves of this world are different from the ones we're normally used to.
True. Good point.
Fine.
Rada has been on this world before.
I'll withhold my judgment until proven otherwise. Okay? I promise.
Also, Tong doesn't know you're coming.
Oh.
He's not even gonna play that.
Alright, that does sound like a bit of a concern. I have a few wards that I need to see. Well, I need to bring this one to his parents. But, if you need help, you know who I am. If you're capable of casting sending, send it my way.
be surprised if I didn't ask.
Joan will look to the other two. It's like, can you?
By the way, which languages most are going to allow us to best understand Erden and
Rena.
Marina's not got much that's going to work.
Rena's gonna have to be using tongues or and comprehend languages. So
Rava.
For someone like Sahir, well, for you guys that are native to this world, Sylvan would be most similar. But it's going to
for
be,
me, Elven.
Yeah, if you're speaking Elven, it's going to be like a Portuguese and a Italian speaker talking to each other.
Okay.
We probably have other languages that we can speak that are similar, but they haven't revealed that they speak languages that are similar in that regard.
Correct.
But Rada's revealed that she speaks at least something that
she
has
revealed that she can speak Common.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Only that was common in the other world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she speaks your Common. Like
she speaks our Common.
Yeah. She has been to this world before. She can speak the language.
Useful.
However,
Yeah, without.
However, the other two, well, the other four technically, have not been here. They don't necessarily know the language immediately. However, with spells like Comprehend Languages, you're able to understand other people but not speak it unless you know tongues.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the comparison of everybody, and without magical means, Ern and Joan are definitely never talking to each other.
I can't have you in here
Which
right
is
now.
Kind of funny.
No, I'm in the middle of something.
Considering your characters.
Go quickly.
I have a feeling there's a nephew.
There is a nephew in here.
Hello, worker's nephew.
A surprise nephew appears.
Well, there's already Rada has a surprise niece centaur niece.
And Tonk has a son.
Tonk has a son. I love that so much.
I wonder if Erden already knows that.
I think
I would
Erden
think
is
so.
smart enough to at least guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Erden would be smart enough to guess.
Rada would have told Brina.
Yes.
Because I get the impression that the Slavic that Rada knows probably would translate decently well between the Turchin and Urabic that
Sahir knows.
Sahir knows.
Rada doesn't know Slavic.
Idea does.
Yeah.
What was? No, she knows Persian.
She knows Persian. Persian would be even closer to what Sahir.
Yeah, Persian is actually
would
the
be.
right.
However, none of that has been revealed yet. You just know that this Rada person speaks Common.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm.
But yeah,
That
like,
is...
you're well, Joan. You can see like now that it's been pointed out, it's like that person does look like the Prime Minister. Or that boy does look similar to the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Joan actually like crouches down, just like looks at it between both of the kids, and then one of them draw like, well, that wouldn't make any sense. So it must be a familial extended family, and then this one looks way too familiar. I even recognize that weird look in their eyes.
And I'm watching Joan do this. It's like you said that the young centauress is her niece.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
I'm just gonna presume we're walking because Sahir
Yeah.
For once, decided to do something semi-productive other than feed people.
The Outlanders take their leave,
Mhm.
go off in the direction of Kamiya Cottage. Chomper will take possession of the. We'll have you direct Allie Joan in the direction of her house so that she can keep an eye on it until she can prepare ceremony.
But yeah, we should probably ask for directions. I don't think any of us know where this address is.
Yeah.
We've been
I
around
was
a week. We should at least have some idea.
I was assuming that Tora would probably live close to the Prime Minister.
The first time we met her, she was being
Accosted
attacked
on the
by,
road.
True, she was across on the road.
Also
and we
feudal
learned
for
something
hire.
about relations of somebody thinking she was a slave or something. So this could be more complicated than we think it is.
True.
I mean, if you take the time to ask Tora, like, in
Mhm.
like via the sending stone, she'll basically give you directions, and we'll say that there is a spare key. Like, she'll give you the location of a spare key, but she is currently busy right now. She'll join you in the evening when she gets off of work.
I don't know about everyone else. Sahir had not necessarily intended on informing her and was just going to make his own preparations. It was going to be a surprise. He does seem to like surprises.
I don't think we should surprise Tora like that. I have a feeling that you will not. Joe hit you in the head with the dead Warforged.
We're not surprising Tora. We're in the sense of, jump scaring her. We're surprising her by bringing reinforcements.
All right, so that
If
I
she
suppose
doesn't know
that
we're
question
here,
will
I
go
want to know what
to
she's going to do with her
Joan and
fortune.
Iseline. Do you ask Tora, where's your house?
Yes,
Mhm.
one of us does. Assuming.
All right, so you'll get that location. And since Sahir didn't bother asking until the others say, all right, hey, Sahir, stop. We're going this way. You're basically just going up and down the streets, looking for the correct street name.
Here, she said it's this way.
Asking relevant people if they know where the address is.
Right.
Probably not random people. We should ask Chomper.
Yeah, I will say this now. For next week, we will have roll 20. So
Okay.
not this week, next week. So you can actually see the house.
Yay.
The police force should know where this address is. Talks to the police force. That's my house.
But basically, you get to a house, two-story house, relatively smallish. It doesn't look like it's made for multiple people. Probably just one or two people. So here you go. I say you're go up to the front door or something.
Sahir's intent was to scout the area for good hiding places and terrain that can be taken advantage of, whether that be for sneak attacks or favorable positions or things that can be set on fire in last case resorts.
All right. Give me an investigation check. What do the other two do? Cohort's just following you guys. Until you tell him to do something, he's just going to follow you.
Oh, I got a 6.
I mean, Joan's not going to do it as thoroughly as Sahir is trying to, but they're at least trying to look down certain places, see if there's anything particularly off or somewhere that's can easily be hidden in or you can quickly escape to.
I'm looking for the spare key that Tora told us about.
You would find it in under like one of the under like a rock.
Mm-hmm. Ah, yes, the spare key under the decorative rock. Classic.
So here,
Somebody card welcome into the rock.
so that was a
Oh,
7,
good.
correct?
A 6.
A 6.
Very
so-
sad.
All right. You're looking around and
We get attacked by a cat. Might have accidentally startled.
no, you get distracted by this like weird bird. I mean, you're pretty sure it's a bird because it's covered in feathers, but it also has kind of like a lizard-like face. You may have actually come across an Archaeopteryx. It's just like a very strange bird. So, what did you get, Joan?
19.
All right. So are you looking for things that are like attacking the house or attack from the house?
Like easy places that you could either infiltrate the house or just people attacking the house in general, and also like escape routes
All right.
in case something goes wrong.
So as you're like looking around the house, you notice that the curtains of this house, they are heavy curtains. Not sure how much light is getting through. You also see like the second floor has a balcony. Well, like and you know Tora can fly, so that's probably a way she can enter or leave.
Mm-hmm.
Or someone can possibly jump from the roof. Um, if I'm remembering the map correctly, there's only one other entrance, and that's the front door. You think, come nighttime, like, there's actually quite a bit of space that people would have to cross in order to get into this place. Probably because this person is paranoid about certain things and purposely built their house like that.
So here's just kind of looking kind of with the tilted head at the bird that he's trying to comprehend.
I found the key and am kind of looking around just to see if anything looks out of place. I can roll in. Would that be an investigation?
Perception in this case.
Perception.
You're not looking for a specific thing.
Mm-hmm. Perception.
As you general, before getting back to Iseline in the front door, she'll actually come up to Cohort and just simply ask, "So, how long specifically has it been since you heard that recording?"
It was this morning.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, I know when we found them, we weren't very far. Like the trail was pretty fresh at that.
It was not too long after that recording. It was not too long after the recording was made that the individuals from the recording discovered they had been overheard and pursued.
And subsequently tried to destroy the evidence. Okay.
16.
And you were just looking to. You were looking for what?
Anything strange as if the house has already had issues?
You don't notice anything.
Okay.
I mean, you notice that the curtains are pretty heavy.
Mhm.
But you don't see anything that would suggest that someone's broken in.
Okay.
The rock looks like it hasn't been disturbed in months.
Okay.
If you decide to go in, it is dark in here. Particularly for, I think, the one person that doesn't have dark vision.
Yeah, like
I know.
Joan probably forgetting at least a little bit, but also thinking about okay, protect the squishies. Actually asked Sizzling to like unlock the door, but allow her to go in first, just to in case there's a surprise trap or something.
Alright.
Okay.
You know, our party is actually surprisingly normal races, considering what the typical D&D party looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gotta
We have a human, a half-elf, and an elf.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an Eladrin.
a special
Ow.
elf.
Yes.
And then we have the physician who is.
We're going to ignore the Tarkus and the physician here. They're exceptions.
Good
Face
point.
gremlin. Ignore it.
And the physician looks human enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on paper, the physician's a changeling.
On paper. We all know that the physician is so much more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll unlock the door and gladly let Joan go in first. It's like, can you see okay? Or I mean, it's dark, but
yeah. Joan, it is pitch black in here. Like, well, except for the doorway, it's pitch black. For metagame purposes, she has blackout curtains. So there's no light getting in besides what light you let in.
Man, Joan's probably like crouched low in case something flies out, and then turns to his lane just like, so can you see any better in here?
what is my dark vision?
You should
60
have 60 feet.
So I don't think dark vision is even supposed to be able to see in pitch black.
Yeah, you can see in dim light within 60 feet of you as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it were dim light.
Yeah, so,
I can see
for Joan and no, not Joan, for Sahir and Iseline, it would be dim light conditions, but you can only see in grayscale.
Okay.
What
can I see?
Alright, so let me just take a moment to pull up Roll20 on my thing. I wasn't sure if you were going to get to this point.
Any other sources of light would also be notable, although I don't know of them at this point.
Why the heck am I not signed in? Alright,
Well, at the moment, I know she has blackout curtains, basically, so there's no ambient light getting in.
okay, so, I am not going to sign in while live streaming
problem.
this. But basically you see what's essentially a living room. There is a fireplace off to one side, on the left. In front of you, you guess that might be a guest room or maybe a kitchen. You're not quite sure. I'm not quite sure since I don't remember the moment.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
But you don't. Well, give me a perception check at disadvantage.
Okay, so roll twice and take the lower one. Do I have to even bother rolling again when I get a nat 1?
No.
Not really.
But my perception, because it's perception, right?
Yes.
So technically it's a 6.
Well, it's a good thing that there are only critical successes, but that's only for hits, not skill checks.
Yeah.
You don't see anything that looks like there are traps or hidden attackers.
Here, who is temporarily put aside his mission after staring long enough at the bird, kind of comes along behind Joan and Iseline, being less sneaky, but totally not taking any regard for whether they recognize that he is there. Um, and it is kind of trying to peer in and says, like, do we see anything interesting?
I think this time I was more aware that you would probably be behind me, so I don't jump as much. I might start a little bit, but I don't jump as much and scream like I did last time.
Joan starts slowly taking another step forward, to try and at least get some more light from the doorway, as well as get the other two party members to see a little better in here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see anything that looks suspicious. It looks like a regular house.
If Sagir can see the fireplace, and presuming that and once it kind of seems obvious that nobody else can see anything terribly interesting, um, is there any wood in the fireplace?
I mean, there's like a burnt log. Like a log that was probably lit last night, and was just allowed to burn out.
Mm-hmm. So here we'll attempt to use prestidigitation to light the fireplace. I don't know if it's got enough burn power left in it, but
Actually, I'll use the percentile dice for this. Okay, stay on the thing that I roll you on. Yeah, it catches.
okay. Yeah. So here we'll look at the fireplace. He'll snap his fingers, and the fireplace will light up. Much cozier now, don't you think? A little brighter too.
Certainly brighter.
Fire's not gonna last long though.
Is there any like wood next to the fireplace, like a stack of wood or anything?
Yeah.
For candles.
Uh, there aren't any candles. Seems like the fireplace is the only source of light, which is strange because the light from the fire doesn't reach all the way like throughout this particular room.
Much less the second floor.
No.
I imagine they're
It's a favorite hiding spot yet? I haven't found.
No, we just got in and made sure that there wasn't anybody already hiding.
Okay, fair. But we now know that nobody is hiding.
At least on this level.
Joan goes over the fireplace, throws another log on there, and then kind of just looks around themselves, just confirming.
Yeah, nothing here.
Nothing here.
Nobody here besides you. And
That's
cohort.
chicken.
Hey, cohort, can you see in the dark?
Uh,
I don't know what that's a reference to, actually.
Yes.
Nobody here
We
except
do
us
possess
chickens.
the ability to see in dim and dark conditions, to a limited extent.
Hmm. I don't know. One of you want to accompany him to the second floor?
I can.
Alright, so the two of you go up to the second floor. Again, there's like no light up here. Or no means of light. Kind of makes you wonder, like, how can Tora get around this place? If there is, like, no light. Even with dark vision, you're kind of stumbling around.
Oh.
Yeah, keep in mind, it's still pretty dark even with dim light. Like, it stipulates that with like dim light conditions, like uses, for example, like a particularly bright full moon. I've been out during those times. It's still pretty hard to see things.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Arthur. I was trying to look at two things at once.
Yeah.
So cohort and I go up to the second floor. Did you say what we had seen?
No. I just said that it's also really dark in here. Kind of makes you wonder how Tora can get around here. Second floor is smaller than the ground floor.
Makes sense with the balcony.
Yeah. Well, the balcony makes part of the roof for the ground floor. You can make out like I think 2 more doors. Let's see how well Roll20 works on my phone. I'll get there eventually. That doesn't appear to be anyone on this floor. Whereas in this first area.
I was gonna say, I don't like intruding on her privacy, but at the same time, it would be a good idea to check the doors too, just in case somebody had secured themselves in one of the rooms. I'd probably go to the nearest door and, as silly as it sounds, knock.
You knock on the door. You don't hear anything.
Yeah. And so I'll ease the door open and see if there's anything that I can see in there.
Okay. I finally, I can now see the map.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so for the ground floor, adjacent to the fireplace, like in the middle of the floor, obviously, is like a dining table. Far side of the room, there are 2 sets of couches, and I think 2 shelves and a table.
Mm-hmm.
And like to your right is a staircase that leads up to the second floor. The second floor, Iseline, the top of the stairs against the wall, There is a bookshelf.
Hmm.
Another shelf. A chair and like a coffee table. Um, and yeah, there are two doors. Yeah, you knock on the door. There's no answer.
I'll open the door and kind of poke my head in, trying to see if there's anything that I can see.
Yeah, roll perception. Disadvantage. Actually, I'll roll for cohort.
13.
Alright, you can see opposite end of the room is a bed. To your right is another fireplace. To your left is a desk. And on that desk is a small chair.
The chair is on top of the desk.
Yeah, so there's like a chair that's like under the desk, for someone your size to sit on, and right at the desk. Then there's a smaller chair on the desk.
Okay.
And there's also a door that you presume leads to the balcony.
Well, the only thing that's weird is that the desk has a tiny chair on it. Cohort, do you see anything that I might be missing?
Nothing of note.
I'm gonna make sure I poke my head around and look behind the door as well.
Now, obviously, when you see the map, there'll be more things that I didn't point out, but those are just
Mhm.
the things that I felt prudent.
Okay.
But nothing else that's noteworthy.
But nothing behind the door either.
No.
Alrighty. Well, and the door to the balcony isn't ajar or anything. It looks secure.
Yeah, it looks secure from where you are. I will be sure to move everyone onto the daylight map
Mhm.
on Roll20 so that you can explore it if you want to get a lay of the land before
Okay.
next Thursday.
Okay.
I've got to take a second attempt at finding a good outdoor hiding spot. While we could hide inside, I think I want to see things coming before they're in the house.
Makes sense.
Maybe I won't get distracted by the bird this time.
One can hope.
And I'll make
Perfect.
sure that the door is unlocked. Roll20 has fancy features that restrict movement.
Cool.
Very cool.
So, having seen nothing of note other than the small chair on top of the desk, I'll back out and make sure Cohort and I are both out and into the kind of like little sitting room area and close that door and go over to the other door and repeat the process of knocking and seeing what I can see, which I'm assuming is another perception roll at disadvantage, right?
Yeah. No answer.
Not nice. Not as bad as that one, but fine.
Okay. 6 plus cohort's perception. Okay. And you got a 9?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you see, like, to your left, a bed straight in front of you, a desk, like, underneath a window, yeah, that looks out over the balcony, and far side of the wall, a fireplace. Nothing else in the room.
Does the desk have a small chair on it?
No. This appears to be a guest room.
Okay. I'll look behind the door as well, just to make sure.
No, nothing behind the door.
Okay. Can I see underneath the desk?
Uh, you're having a hard time seeing. Like,
Okay.
the darkness is starting to get to your eyes.
Okay. Cord, do you see anything?
Nothing. Uh, uh, nothing that most organics would consider out of place.
Out of character, I feel like I've just been called a vegetable. The terminology organics, it makes perfect sense coming from cohort, but at the same time, it's like I feel like it's like organic vegetables. I'm like, I've just been called a vegetable. Nothing wrong with it, but I'm like, I've been called a vegetable. Okay. Sorry, back in character. I was wanting to try and see if there's anything under the desk, but having trouble seeing. And I don't know if Joan would want me to go too far into the room. But at the same time, probably I should, just in case. Or if you'd like to go cohort and check under the desk, that's okay too. But I know you would probably be a little harder to repair, especially now that the physician has disappeared.
Yeah. Cohort like walks into the room and this thing basically has a flashlight head. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
unintentionally, like looks underneath the desk, comes back, and does nothing. Like nothing noteworthy under the desk.
Thank you, cohort. And we'll troop out again and close the door and return downstairs to report to Joan.
While they've been doing that, what role would it be to try and figure out what Twin Divine's Chosen means?
That is going to be a religion check, and I will tell you now, it's going to be a very hard one.
I won't worry about it. My religion's pretty low, so that's an 11. So
No, you don't know. You haven't even heard of the Twin Divine.
I don't know. Is there anything in the bread box?
There's bread.
Is it starting to look stale, or?
But
Slightly stale, but it's like one person living alone, you would guess.
Yeah. Actually, using just kind of looking around, how much dust is around?
Let's see. You lit up the place, so that would be either perception or investigation.
Let's go with the higher one and give it a dirty 20 of perception.
There's not really any dust. I mean, um, like this place looks lived in.
Mm.
I mean, well, lived in for actually what you would say would be for two people that are both out regularly.
We're looking at a workaholic's house. Or a couple of workaholics' house.
Well, I can tell you this, that the person that you know owns this place works the trading post.
Mm-hmm.
And since she's partners with she is a co-owner of the trading post, she kind of has to be there.
Yeah.
Most of the time. So it's not like she wants to work that much, it's kind of she has to be.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to say that in a way of implicating her character. I was saying it more as a general terminology of the type of home that it looks like. Like the type of amount of living that it looks like. If that makes any sense.
There are no homebodies.
Correct.
There you go.
That's a better way to just state. No homebody.
It's a place to have dinner, breakfast, and sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you do see there are like let's see. In that first room there are 2 bookshelves, and in the adjacent room there is 1.
Mm-hmm.
I like the number of her bookshelves. Makes me happy.
Yeah. And there at the dining table there are 6 chairs.
We have more than 3 bookcases.
Those are 3 on the main floor. There was 3 on the top floor.
We only have 1 floor.
What is the newest thing that seems to have been added to the building?
The newest thing,
Homebodies.
you would say like one of the bookshelves.
Because the husband wants her.
I mean,
Like
I
just
don't
a-
exactly do things all that often either.
Is one of those barely filled up bookcases, or does it already seem like there's already a lot going on for it?
It
Or there
probably,
boxes at the foot of the bookcase indicating there should probably be more bookcases.
you could definitely put more books on it. Like
Okay.
there's room for more books. But it's not full. You would say it's probably about 2/3 full.
Yeah. And after that, Joe will just stand around and wait.
And actually, I think since you got a 20 on that perception check, you would also notice by the fireplace a painting, and you would like it's a painting. One of the people in the painting, well, it's a group painting. So in this painting, you would see Tora, a Minotaur, a really small person with like butterfly wings, and I think there are two more, but I have to find that notebook.
Is there any way to tell how old the painting might be? Like, does it seem like it's been at all sun bleached for any period of time, or
Give me an intelligence check.
intelligence?
Hey, Arthur, just as a heads up, we're gonna need to
Yeah,
and
yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna need to go soon.
yeah.
That's a
I'm going to try to
9.
finish this up soon.
That's a 9.
Ah,
I do want to
uh, considering that this place has blinds that keep the lights closed, doesn't look like it's faded.
Mm-hmm.
If there's nothing else, I think that is a good place